Today we're talking about protecting, or another word could be saving. It's what we hold on to. Saving can be a real challenge in today's world. High cost of living, high housing costs, all those kind of things, particularly if you're in the expensive children years. It can be a real challenge. And, I'm fortunate now to be past those years, but through those years, sometimes saving was just a wishful thought. But nonetheless, it's good for us to plan for, and starting to do something is better than doing nothing. And so saving can be difficult, but saving is necessary. Actually, we have some wonderful tools in New Zealand. We have the Kiwi Saver. So just by simply working, there is a percentage of our income goes to be saved. I count that as my savings, and savings are there for specific purpose when we need them. There's many different strategies and ways when it comes to saving, but having a special purpose account is one that people like, or the envelope system where you can actually put things aside for special purposes. So if there's a rainy day or you have maintenance unexpected or something like that, you've got money there to do it. So it doesn't impact your living costs. You've got the money there to be able to do it and move forward. The point being that we put money aside and we don't touch it except for the intention that it's required. And I would suggest, if you can, 10% has been the starting point for you there. Now, again, you may be looking at these numbers and going, boy, you're putting big numbers on there, 10%. There's no way I can do that. Again, the numbers don't really matter. What matters is that you start putting the principle in place, and then as you can increase, you do increase. So saving. And recommendation is that you do it regularly. As often as you can, just put a little bit aside all of the time. I recently heard a story about young people in the UK, and there is a whole generation of young people coming through in the UK who are counting on inheritance from their parents to be what's going to get them through. There's a major problem with that, and this is why we need to actually take responsibility ourselves to save, because people are living longer and longer and longer. And the statistic is quite frightening. You've got this whole generation of people coming through that are counting on an inheritance to get through. It's a bit like counting on winning a lottery, but they're not receiving their inheritance until they're in their 50s and 60s because people are living longer. That's only half the equation. The other side of the equation is because the parents have lived so much longer, they've actually had to use a lot of the resource that they put aside and they were disciplined to save. They've had to use a lot of that to live in their retirement. When the inheritance actually comes through, it's something like £20,000. Well, these young people are hoping for hundreds of thousands of pounds. They get something like £20,000, or if it's New Zealand, $20,000. In your 50s and 60s, $20,000 is going to be very nice, thank you very much, but it's not going to change your world. We need to take responsibility for saving as early as possible, putting things aside regular amounts so that it'll add up. That is the principle of Kiwi Saver. Good stewardship, I think, looks something like 10% for presenting your tithe back to the Lord, 10% for planting, 10% for protecting, and next time we're going to look at paying. Something for you to ponder. How much can you put into protecting or into saving right now? See you next time.